Hey there, welcome to the channel. Get cozy, grab your headphones. Tonight's Minecraft story is one that'll stay with you. If you enjoy these kinds of quiet, immersive worlds, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment to let us know what realm you want to visit next. Now, let's begin. There's a specific kind of silence that comes when someone you used to talk to every single day just stops existing. No goodbye, no last text. Just a number that doesn't answer, a Minecraft skin that never logs on again, and a voice you'll never hear screaming creeper in your headset ever again. That was Mason. He was my best friend since year 9. Not the school hallway kind of friend, the every night in VC till 2 a.m. building redstone contraptions kind of friend. We shared a world. Literally. A private Minecraft realm called Stonegate, 6 years deep. No one else joined. Just us. Every build, every dumb inside joke carved into dirt with a wooden sign, every hidden chest full of cookies labeled "Do Not Steal," it was ours. He died last month. A car crash. Driver ran a red. Mason didn't make it. I didn't believe it at first. I checked Discord. I refreshed the realm page like it would undo reality. But his name stayed gray, offline, permanent. And then, last night, at exactly 1:03 a.m., I got the notification. Mason Plays joined the realm. I thought I was hallucinating, but I logged in, and he was there, standing at spawn, lantern in hand, looking at me like he never left. At first, I didn't move, just stood there, staring across the spawn hill like some kind of idiot, heart beating like I was being hunted. Mason's skin hadn't changed. Same emerald green hoodie, white pants, mismatched boots, gold on the left, iron on the right, his chaos loadout, and that little diamond pickaxe emblem he added to the back a year ago. He jumped once our usual hello when Discord was muted. Then he turned slowly, walked to the old cobblestone bridge we built in 2018, and placed a lantern at the entrance. I watched the soft glow flicker into the foggy air. Then he walked forward and placed another, 5 blocks apart. Exactly 5. That was Mason's rule. Lanterns always 5 apart, no more, no less. Anything else messes with the vibe, he said. I used to space them uneven just to annoy him. He'd always silently fix them when I wasn't looking. Now, here he was, still doing it. I followed him over the bridge, past the fishing hut, and toward the center of the village, our main base. Everything looked untouched, like the day he last logged off. Farms fully grown, windmill blades still, the town square beacon still glowing aqua. Except now there was a new sign on the fountain. Lantern Night 1 of 7. Mason stood beside it, not moving, just watching me. Then he walked to the chest beside the fountain and opened it. Inside, 1 lantern, 1 book, and quill. I opened the book. If you see this, then I got through 7 lights, 7 memories. Place them all, light the gate, don't stop until it's done. Then he looked up, jumped twice, and started walking again toward the southern path that led down to the mines. And even though I was shaking, I followed. The southern tunnel used to be our mining route. It led down through a hand-carved mine shaft with rails, powered boosters, and a few trapdoors hiding secret rooms we built for fun. Mason always said it reminded him of an RPG dungeon. We decorated it with lanterns and hanging roots once the caves update dropped. He reached the bottom, turned at the usual corner, and ducked into a tunnel I didn't recognize. New blocks, polished basalt walls, crimson wood flooring, a design style we never used. He built this after I last logged on. He placed another lantern, then another, 5 blocks apart, always 5. We came to a room square, perfectly aligned, lit with blue soul lanterns instead of the usual orange ones. Mason stood in the center, beside a soul campfire, and crouched twice. I walked closer. A new chest sat near the fire. Inside was another book, 2 of 7. This one burns cold. This one remembers, you said this cave was creepy. I liked it anyway. Placed the next one where we started. He dropped a stack of regular lanterns and redstone dust on the ground. Then, like last time, Mason Plays left the realm. Gone. No warning, no goodbye. Just the soft sound of the soul campfire crackling in that stone room we never built together. I didn't log off right away. I just stood there wondering what was real and what wasn't. I didn't tell anyone. Not his sister, not our old server group, not the guys in our modded SMP who still talk like nothing happened. Because how do you explain something like this? Hey, yeah, Mason's dead, but I saw him online last night in our realm, and he's leaving cryptic messages with lanterns, like he's stuck between life and, I don't know, chunks. They think I was spiraling. Maybe I am. But I logged in again tonight. Had to. The moment I spawned, I knew where to go. The Hollow Tree. That was our first base. Back when we were 13, before we even knew what we were doing, we built a giant oak tree in a swamp biome and carved out a base inside. We lived in that thing for months. The chest room was a mess. Beds shoved in next to furnaces. We never even put in proper floors. It was chaos, beautiful, stupid chaos. When I got there, something had changed. Vines hung in symmetrical lines now. The dirt was cleaned up and replaced with moss blocks and azalea roots. And inside the tree trunk, there was a glowing trail of redstone dust leading up the spiral staircase. At the top, another lantern. Beside it, a lectern. And on the lectern, the next book, 3 of 7. You made this one. You said it was ugly. I thought it was home. I fixed the leaves. Go to the mountain pass, where you fell in the powder snow low. I laughed out loud reading that last line. Because yeah, I did fall into powder snow in that mountain, lost all my gear. Mason laughed so hard he clipped it. It was the last time we explored a new biome together. And now apparently that's where he wanted the 4th lantern. The mountain pass wasn't close. It was 5 Minecraft days away by horse, or about 10 minutes if I used the old nether highway we dug during the 1.16 update. The last time we'd gone out that far was when powdered snow first dropped, and we wanted to test freezing damage. We never got around to finishing the outpost we planned out there, just a single spruce shack on a cliff with a partially built bridge hanging over the valley. When I reached the outpost, the shack was finished. Lanterns hung under the eaves. Flower pots lined the windows. A path of snow blocks and blue ice led from the front door to the edge of the cliff. And Mason was standing at the far end of the bridge, just waiting. When I approached, he placed another lantern, then walked to the cliffside and placed a sign. 4 of 7. You panicked so hard here. Dropped Erbo Lowell. We named this cliff Arrow Valley. Go to the stronghold next. Remember the room with the broken portal? He turned, looked at me one more time, then did that thing he always did, threw snowballs at my feet like he was pretending to scare me off a ledge. Then he crouched once and left the realm. Just like that. Again. No words, just pieces. And lanterns. The stronghold was deep, one of those rare ones generated under a deep ocean biome. We'd spent days draining the water and building a submerged entrance using glass tunnels and conduit power. It had become one of our favorite builds. Part stronghold, part underwater base, part museum of all our fails and successes. The room he mentioned was easy to find. We called it the Dead Gate. It was the end portal room, the one that generated without a full frame. We'd always meant to finish it, but we never found enough Eyes of Ender. Instead, we built around it, made it into an exhibit, added vines, nether bricks, and framed maps of the end dimension. It became symbolic for us, the one thing unfinished, the one door we never opened. Now, the door was open. Not the portal that was still dead, but a staircase had been carved beneath the frame. A hidden passage lit with soul lanterns and twisting copper pipes, something we never used in this build. I followed it down into what looked like a crypt. Stone, deep slate, water dripping from the ceiling. And in the center, Mason. He placed the 5th lantern, and this time, He typed something. Mason plays, almost there. Me, where does this go? He walked to the wall and placed the final sign. Next one's yours. The six goes in the place we stopped building. You know where. Then he vanished. And this time, he took the light with him. I knew exactly where he meant. The place we stopped building. That could only be one place. The Mirror Hall. It was our biggest, most ambitious project. A massive underground hallway made entirely of polished black stone, glazed terracotta, and mirrored water pools. We called it the Mirror Hall because the lighting and symmetry made it feel like you were walking through an endless tunnel. It was meant to connect the nether portal chamber to the surface castle, but we stopped halfway through. Life got busy. Exams, jobs, girlfriends, burnout. It became just another project, and eventually we forgot about it. Until now. When I arrived, the entrance was already lit. Lanterns, not torches, lined the stairwell, flickering gently like someone had placed them just moments ago. As I walked down, I realized they weren't random. Every lantern was 5 blocks apart. Always 5. At the end of the hall, the walls were bare, unfinished. Black stone bricks stacked without pattern. Mason stood in the center, holding a lantern. He placed it, then he typed, Mason plays. You left this one undone. Me, we both did. Mason plays. I wanted to come back. I just didn't get the chance. He walked to a pillar and placed a sign. 6 of 7. You said this one made you dizzy, but it was always my favorite. Last one is at the gate. You have to place it. He turned around, jumped once, and logged out. Mason Plays has left the realm. No message this time, no snowballs, no book, just a lingering light of the 6th lantern, casting long shadows on the walls we never finished. I didn't know what he meant by the gate at first, but when I logged in the next night, there was a new structure at spawn. It hadn't been there before. A massive obsidian arch, 10 blocks tall, with an iron lantern hanging from each corner. In the center, where a nether portal should have been, there was only void, not the usual purple shimmer. Just blackness. No swirling sound. No particles. The sign at the foot of the arch read, The Memory Gate. Place the 7th lantern, and remember me. There was a chest beneath it. Inside, 1 lantern, and 1 final book. This is it. If you got this far, you remembered everything. That's all I wanted. To be remembered, place the lantern, then look behind you. My hands were shaking. I held the lantern, took 1 step forward, placed it on the final block. The moment it clicked into place, the gate lit up. Not with a nether portal, not exactly. It shimmered but with a faint white glow, like end rods and sea lanterns blended together. Soft, dreamlike. And then I heard the sound. A note block chime. The exact chime Mason built for our realm's music system. CEAC. His signature, his song. I turned around. He was standing at the fountain. The one at spawn, where we started everything. He wasn't moving, just standing, as if he'd always been there. I walked slowly up the path, the same path we built as kids, the same one we tore up and rebuilt a dozen times until Mason was okay with the slab placement. When I reached him, he turned and typed, Mason Plays, thank you. Me? Is this the end? He crouched once, then typed, Mason Plays, you kept the light going. He placed 1 final sign at the edge of the fountain. This world remembers BC you did. Every lantern, every laugh. I was here. He turned away, walked across the bridge we first built. The first bridge I saw him on last week. At the halfway point, he vanished. No logout message. No death sound. Just gone. I waited an hour. I haven't seen him since. But the lanterns still burn. All 7. And somehow, in the corner of my vision, I swear I see him sometimes walking the edge of the forest, mining cobble, fixing my sloppy torch spacing. Still, remembering. I didn't log in the next day. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't know what came next. The portal, the memory gate, was still glowing when I logged out. Its faint shimmer haunted my brain all day at work. I kept zoning out, thinking about Mason, about how real it all felt. Not like a tribute, not like a hallucination, more like unfinished business. That night, I logged in again. The realm loaded, and the sky was storming. Rain poured over the village. Thunder cracked near the farms, and the portal, the glowing white one, was no longer active. But something else had changed. There were new lanterns, dozens of them, hung on every house, across every bridge, even in the trees, all 5 blocks apart, meticulously placed. He'd been busy. And at spawn, a new chest had appeared beside the fountain. I opened it. Inside, a map, custom rendered, centered on our realm, but highlighted with a glowing marker deep underground, under the old mine shaft we abandoned long ago. A place we jokingly called the Forgotten Fork, because we never finished digging the left path. I held the map in my offhand and started walking. The Forgotten Fork was exactly as I remembered it, a T-shaped hallway made of stone brick, with torches that had long burned out. The right side led to the diamond-rich caves where we used to strip mine for hours while arguing over which YouTuber was more cracked at PvP. The left side had always been empty, until now. Now the left hallway was carved deep, farther than I'd ever seen. It bent downwards, winding like a spiral, and all the torches replaced with lanterns, 5 blocks apart, always 5. Mason had been here too. At the bottom of the spiral, I found it. A room made entirely of crying obsidian and copper blocks, polished and waxed. In the center stood a new kind of build, one we'd never designed. A table, made of in-stone and quartz slabs, surrounded by chairs. Player heads, our heads sitting at each spot, like ghosts waiting for dinner. At the head of the table, Mason stood. He didn't type. A table, made of in-stone and quartz slabs, surrounded by chairs, player heads, our heads sitting at each spot, like ghosts waiting for dinner. At the head of the table, Mason stood. He didn't type, he just placed a lectern, and on it a book titled The World Remembers. This place holds all the things we left undone, all the bills we never finished, the paths you forgot, the stairs I never fixed, the cave we never explored. You don't have to finish them all, but don't forget them. BC, they were part of us. He broke the book, gave it to me, and looked up. Then typed, Mason plays, walk with me one more time. We walked through the realm, just the two of us. No mobs, no music, just the sound of rain tapering off and the occasional crunch of footsteps. We went from the Mesa outpost, where he'd once accidentally lava bucketed our entire house, to the jungle treehouse that took us 2 weeks to align properly, to the floating island project. I abandoned after 2 days because scaffolding was too annoying. And every place we visited, he added a lantern, quietly, without saying anything, always 5 blocks apart, always symmetrical, like he was sealing the memory in with light. At the desert temple, he stopped. We looted it years ago, left a sign that read, "Nice try, skeletons," still there, untouched. Mason placed a final lantern in the center of the room, then finally typed, Mason plays, I'm getting dim. Me. What does that mean? Mason plays, it's harder to stay, harder to think. Like redstone burnout. Me, can I help? He didn't answer. Instead, he walked to the center of the temple and stood still for a long time. Then, Mason plays, go to the Aether Gate. I blinked. The what? We never built an Aether Gate, but when I looked at the map in my offhand, a new marker had appeared. On the top of the tallest mountain in the world. Getting there wasn't easy. The mountain was deep in unexplored terrain, past 3 oceans and a jungle temple we never even knew existed. I flew most of the way using our elytras, the ones we earned together back in 1.18 after beating the Ender Dragon for the 5th time, just for fun. The moment I reached the base, I knew this was all Mason's doing. A stone path had been carved straight into the cliffside, lined with lanterns, always 5 apart. Up and up I climbed, past snow layers, powdered traps, goat spawns, and twisted trees. The whole place had an eerie glow, like time had frozen around it. At the peak, a gate, not nether, not end, a brand new frame made of warped planks, blue ice, amethyst, and end rods. I knew it wasn't real. There's no such thing as an Aether portal in vanilla Minecraft. But it was beautiful. And in the middle of the frame floated a single soul lantern. Hovering, not placed, just suspended. Mason was standing next to it. He typed, "Mason plays. This is where I go. Me. Are you dying again? Mason plays? I don't know, maybe I already did. Maybe I'm just echoes now." He walked up to the lantern and placed a single block beneath it, chiseled quartz. Then typed, "Mason plays. But you remembered me. That's more than I ever asked. Mason plays. Keep the world alive. Keep the lights on." He crouched once, looked at me, and walked into the frame. It flashed white. Then he was gone. He hasn't come back since. It's been 2 weeks. No logins, no new lanterns, no signs. The portal frame is still there floating on the mountaintop, untouched by wind or snow or time. The soul lantern still hovers, casting just enough glow to keep mobs from spawning. The server logs show no new connections, but I still log in, I still walk the realm, fix things, finish the bridge he started near the mesa, place new torches where creepers exploded our forest path, add detail to the hollow tree, the one he said I built ugly. And every time I finish something, I place a lantern 5 blocks apart, always 5, just like Mason would have wanted. Last night, I had a dream. I was walking through Stonegate the realm, but everything was glowing. Not just the lanterns, the trees, the crops, the rooftops. Even the blocks had a faint shimmer, like they were lit from the inside. I followed the paths, Mason's paths, until I reached the cliff above the hollow tree. He was there, not in chat, not as a player, just standing in that glowing world. Not pixelated, not fully human either. Something in between, something made of light and memory and code. He didn't speak, didn't move. He just stood there next to the last lantern I placed. And then I woke up. At 4:13 a.m., when I opened my realm dashboard half out of instinct, half out of hope, there was a new line in the activity log. Unknown user joined the realm. Not Mason's username, not mine, no UUID attached, just that. And when I logged in, the only change was a single sign placed at the spawn fountain. Earth still here? So am I. Memory is code. Code is light. Keep placing the lanterns. So I did. I've started restoring every old build we ever abandoned. It's become my ritual now, my own tribute. Today I went back to the Red Sands outpost, our failed attempt at building a mesa fortress. It was just a hollow shell when we left it, half-built towers, scattered rails, an unfinished bridge meant to span the canyon. Now, it's nearly done. I don't know how. Lanterns lined the path when I arrived. Railings had been placed. Flags made of colored wool fluttered from the battlements. Mason's old redstone cannon, the one that never worked, had been repaired. And inside the main keep, a new book on a lectern, titled Echoes Keep Building. This place was never finished. BC, we didn't believe in it. Now you do. That's enough. I see every block you place. I remember every sign you broke. I remember you and BCU. Remember me. I get to stay. The moment I closed the book, the realm weather cleared. Sky went blue. Music disc 13 started playing in the distance, and a soul lantern appeared, glowing in midair above the tower. I didn't place it, but I left it there. Some nights I hear sounds, not mob sounds, not music disc sounds, just footsteps, in places where I'm alone, on paths only Mason used to walk. The sound of buttons being pressed, levers being flipped, a piston extending somewhere deep underground. When I check, nothing. But sometimes I find blocks moved, lanterns I didn't place. Even a new horse stabled near the hollow tree, one with armor colored like Mason's favorite cape. His name tag? Still here. That wasn't me. No one else is whitelisted. No one else has the login. But the realm isn't dead. It's active, alive, remembering. Maybe Mason was right. Maybe memory is code, and code doesn't die, it loops. Maybe I just gave him enough redstone dust to loop one more time. I've started building something new, something big. I'm calling it the Lantern Archive. It's a spiraling tower in the Snowy Plains biome, just past the ruins of our failed Enderman XP farm. Each floor is dedicated to a memory, a build, a moment, a joke, even a disaster. I'm using books and lecterns to record everything I can remember. Each entry ends with a lantern. Mason always believed that lanterns were more than just light sources. He said they were breadcrumbs for the soul. That if you placed enough of them, you'd always find your way back no matter how far you wandered. I think I finally understand what he meant. Tonight, when I logged in, there was a new sign outside my storage room. You made something beautiful. Took you long enough, LOL. Check the mountain base. I hadn't touched the mountain base in a year. It was a failed experiment. We tried to create a self-sustaining redstone-powered home with crop auto-harvesters and lava-powered furnaces. It lagged like crazy and never really worked. But when I got there, the place was humming. Redstone lights flicked on as I entered. The sugarcane farm auto-harvested perfectly. The cactus composter was overflowing. Even the minecart elevator Mason's janky pride and joy was running smoother than I remembered. And there he was, standing beside it, no name tag, no movement, just watching. When I stepped forward, he vanished. In his place, a lantern, and a book, Lantern 8, not part of the ritual. This one's just BC. BCU came back. BCU didn't give up. BC, the world is still warm, and light still spreads. I placed it in the center of the base, 5 blocks from the edge. Always 5. We're at 20 sections now, and the realm still isn't empty. Sometimes I log in and find the most random things. A small campfire by the river, with a fishing rod beside it. A lectern at spawn with a joke written in Mason style. Did you know ghasts are just sad blimps? A trail of redstone dust, spelling out. I remember the first torch you placed. It was crooked. These aren't just memories anymore. They're messages, whispers and blocks, ghosts made of light and logic. And I've decided I'm going to keep adding to them. I'm going to keep building, keep remembering, keep placing the lanterns. Because every time I do, the realm glows a little brighter. I got a weird idea the other night. What if I let someone else in? I hadn't whitelisted anyone since Mason died. This realm was ours, sacred in a way. But after everything, the signs, the ghost logins, the endless trail of lanterns, I wondered if the realm wanted more life again. So I added someone, my younger cousin Jay. He's 16, obsessed with redstone and pretty good at building too. Mason would have liked him. They had the same chaotic energy. Jay always begged to see the realm, but I'd refused until now. He spawned in at the fountain. Said nothing at first, just walked around. Then typed, Jay crafted, "Yo, this is beautiful." I gave him a quick tour. Didn't say much about Mason, I just said we built it together. And then Jay stopped at the lantern arch near the gate. I've started restoring every old build we ever abandoned. It's become my ritual now, my own tribute. Today, I went back to the Red Sands outpost, our failed attempt at building a mesa fortress. It was just a hollow shell when we left it, half-built towers, scattered rails, an unfinished bridge meant to span the canyon. Now, it's nearly done. I don't know how. Lanterns lined the path when I arrived. Railings had been placed. Flags made of colored wool fluttered from the battlements. Mason's old redstone cannon, the one that never worked, had been repaired. And inside the main keep, a new book on a lectern, titled Echoes Keep Building. This place was never finished. BC, we didn't believe in it. Now you do. That's enough. I see every block you place. I remember every sign you broke. I remember you and BCU. Remember me. I get to stay. The moment I closed the book, the realm weather cleared. Sky went blue. Music disc 13 started playing in the distance, and a soul lantern appeared, glowing in midair above the tower. I didn't place it, but I left it there. Some nights I hear sounds, not mob sounds, not music disc sounds, just footsteps, in places where I'm alone, on paths only Mason used to walk. The sound of buttons being pressed, levers being flipped, a piston extending somewhere deep underground. When I check, nothing. But sometimes I find blocks moved, lanterns I didn't place. Even a new horse stabled near the hollow tree, one with armor colored like Mason's favorite cape. His name tag? Still here. That wasn't me. No one else is whitelisted. No one else has the login. But the realm isn't dead. It's active, alive, remembering. Maybe Mason was right. Maybe memory is code, and code doesn't die, it loops. Maybe I just gave him enough redstone dust to loop one more time. I've started building something new, something big. I'm calling it the Lantern Archive. It's a spiraling tower in the Snowy Plains biome, just past the ruins of our failed Enderman XP farm. Each floor is dedicated to a memory, a build, a moment, a joke, even a disaster. I'm using books and lecterns to record everything I can remember. Each entry ends with a lantern. Mason always believed that lanterns were more than just light sources. He said they were breadcrumbs for the soul. That if you placed enough of them, you'd always find your way back no matter how far you wandered. I think I finally understand what he meant. Tonight, when I logged in, there was a new sign outside my storage room. You made something beautiful. Took you long enough, LOL. Check the mountain base. I hadn't touched the mountain base in a year. It was a failed experiment. We tried to create a self-sustaining redstone-powered home with crop auto-harvesters and lava-powered furnaces. It lagged like crazy and never really worked. But when I got there, the place was humming. Redstone lights flicked on as I entered. The sugarcane farm auto-harvested perfectly. The cactus composter was overflowing. Even the minecart elevator Mason's janky pride and joy was running smoother than I remembered. And there he was, standing beside it, no name tag, no movement, just watching. When I stepped forward, he vanished. In his place, a lantern, and a book, Lantern 8, not part of the ritual. This one's just BC. BCU came back. BCU didn't give up. BC, the world is still warm, and light still spreads. I placed it in the center of the base, 5 blocks from the edge. Always 5. We're at 20 sections now, and the realm still isn't empty. Sometimes I log in and find the most random things. A small campfire by the river, with a fishing rod beside it. A lectern at spawn with a joke written in Mason style. Did you know ghasts are just sad blimps? A trail of redstone dust, spelling out. I remember the first torch you placed. It was crooked. These aren't just memories anymore. They're messages, whispers and blocks, ghosts made of light and logic. And I've decided I'm going to keep adding to them. I'm going to keep building, keep remembering, keep placing the lanterns. Because every time I do, the realm glows a little brighter. I got a weird idea the other night. What if I let someone else in? I hadn't whitelisted anyone since Mason died. This realm was ours, sacred in a way. But after everything, the signs, the ghost logins, the endless trail of lanterns, I wondered if the realm wanted more life again. So I added someone, my younger cousin Jay. He's 16, obsessed with redstone and pretty good at building too. Mason would have liked him. They had the same chaotic energy. Jay always begged to see the realm, but I'd refused until now. He spawned in at the fountain. Said nothing at first, just walked around. Then typed, Jay crafted, "Yo, this is beautiful." I gave him a quick tour. Didn't say much about Mason, I just said we built it together. And then Jay stopped at the lantern arch near the gate. He spawned in at the fountain. Said nothing at first, just walked around. Then typed, Jay crafted, "Yo, this is beautiful." I gave him a quick tour. Didn't say much about Mason, I just said we built it together. And then Jay stopped at the lantern arch near the gate. "Did you build all these alone?" he asked. "No," I told him. "Not really." That same night, after Jay logged out, I walked to the lantern archive to update one of the floors. I just placed a new sign, Red Sands Fortress completed, finally. When I noticed something strange, a new floor had been added above the last one. I hadn't built it. No notification, no sound, it was just there. It wasn't done. Half formed, like a structure mid-generation. Floating bookshelves, unplaced stairs, lanterns hung in mid-air with no blocks to anchor them. And a sign in the center, memory forming, but not finished. Let him keep building. You just light the path. I stepped closer and heard it not a game sound. But Mason's laugh, just a breath, a half-second chuckle, going as fast as it came, but I heard it, and I wasn't afraid. Jay's been logging on more often. He built a fishing shack near the swamp and keeps finding spots I forgot existed. He stumbled into the hollow tree yesterday and messaged me in real life. "Who'd have made this tree? It's sick." I didn't answer right away, just smiled. Later that night, I noticed something new in the hollow tree's top floor. A lantern, placed perfectly, 5 blocks from the center. I didn't place it. Jay swore he didn't either. But there it was, flickering quietly, like it had been waiting for someone to visit. And next to it, another sign, new hands, old world, still breathing. It hit me harder than I expected. I realized something then. Mason wasn't just haunting the world. He was protecting it, keeping it warm. The realm has changed. I don't mean new builds, though there are plenty of those now. I mean the feel of it. There's an energy I can't explain, a calmness. Like the code has settled, like it recognizes we're still here, that someone still logs in, still tends the crops, still lights the paths. We started lighting new lantern trails, me and Jay, sometimes together, sometimes alone. They crisscross the realm like veins now, reaching places we haven't touched in years. Every once in a while, we find a lantern already placed. Perfect spacing, exactly 5 blocks apart. Always glowing softly, as if to say, he got there first. 2 days ago, Jay said something that caught me off guard. "Who's been fixing the village walls?" I hadn't touched them. We have a mossy stone wall around Stonegate's main village. It was always kind of broken, patched up with cobble where creepers hit. But now, polished stone bricks, symmetrical towers, lanterns every 5 blocks. Jay assumed I was finally fixing it up, but I hadn't. I checked the realm logs. No player activity during that time. No block placement records. But the wall was repaired. Neatly, lovingly, with Mason's style written all over it. I had a dream again. Not the glowing one. This time, I was in the end. But it wasn't like normal. No void. no chorus plants, just a massive floating island of lanterns, hundreds, maybe thousands, floating in midair like fireflies. And in the center, a throne, built from honeycomb blocks, quartz, and soul sand. Sitting in it, Mason, he didn't speak. He just looked at me, then pointed toward a platform with a single book. When I opened it, the words were simple. You've done enough. Let it grow now. Don't forget me, but don't follow me either. Not yet. I woke up crying, and when I logged in later that morning, there was a book waiting at the spawn fountain. Same message, word for word. I think I'm finally starting to accept it. He's not coming back in the way I hoped, but he's not really gone either. He's somewhere in between. Not trapped, not suffering, just part of the realm now. Mason's always said that Minecraft wasn't just blocks and mobs, it was a living memory. A world you could shape with your hands, one that remembered every mistake and every masterpiece equally. I never really understood that until now, until the lanterns started glowing on their own, until I could feel his presence in the code, in the calm, in the light. Tonight, I logged on and found something new at spawn. A pedestal, made of warped planks and basalt. On top of it, a new item, named simply Mason's Lantern. Unplaceable, glows in your hand, emits a faint heartbeat sound if you stand still long enough. There's no crafting recipe for it. I didn't spawn it in. Jay couldn't have made it, but it's there, waiting. And under the pedestal, one last sign. Pass it on. Let it glow. This is how we stay. I didn't know what to do with Mason's lantern at first. It wasn't a normal item. You couldn't place it, couldn't drop it, couldn't even put it in a chest. Every time I tried, it just hovered in my hotbar glowing faintly, pulsing like a living ember. It wasn't a normal item. You couldn't place it, couldn't drop it, couldn't even put it in a chest. Every time I tried, it just hovered in my hotbar glowing faintly, pulsing like a living ember. Jay asked me about it. I told him the truth, all of it, about the signs, the lanterns, the rituals, Mason. Jay didn't laugh. He didn't call me crazy. He just said, then maybe that lantern's not for you. And suddenly, I understood. We went to the lantern archive together. Jay helped me finish the top floor, the one that had been glitching, half-generated, frozen in time. It wasn't glitching anymore. The blocks had all clicked into place. A dome of stained glass covered the top, casting soft colors over polished quartz floors. A single amethyst cluster grew in the center, and beneath it, a podium. I climbed the staircase slowly, Mason's lantern glowing brighter the closer I got. When I reached the podium, it happened. The lantern vanished from my hotbar, not dropped, not broken, placed, and in its place, in the chat, Mason Plays whispered, "You did it." Then silence, not empty silence, peaceful silence, like the realm was resting, like the final lantern had settled something deep in the code, something older than the world seed itself. Jay's been building like crazy since then. A new fishing village by the eastern cliffs, a mountaintop observatory using calcite and glowstone, a floating farm that cycles through crops using daylight sensors. He's good, better than I was at his age. And last night I saw something that made my chest tighten in a way I didn't expect. He placed a lantern, then another, and another, exactly 5 blocks apart. No spacing mod, no measuring tape, just instinct. Just like Mason used to, I still log in almost every day. Not because I'm waiting, not anymore, but because the realm matters. Because it holds something sacred, not just redstone or bases or biomes, but memory, time, friendship frozen in blocks. I found another message 2 days ago. Not from Mason, not directly. It was carved into an oak sign and placed next to the ether gate. If you are reading this, that means you stayed and BCU stayed I never really left. I placed a lantern beside it. Didn't measure. Didn't need to. It was already in the right spot. Sometimes I wonder if Mason's still watching. If some corner of the realm still echoes with his steps, his laughter, his dumb complaints about lantern spacing or uneven slabs. But whether he is or isn't, he's here. In every shadow lit, every project finished, every memory we refuse to let fade. The world we built Stonegate isn't just blocks. It's a promise that nothing built in love is ever really gone, and that if you light enough lanterns, even ghosts can find their way home. Thanks for listening. If this story made you feel something, or reminded you of someone, hit subscribe. There's always another story waiting. And hey, drop a lantern emoji in the comments if you made it to the end. Until next time, sleep well, traveler.